So you want to start a marketing business. Great idea. However, here's three reasons that you're going to have to battle if you want to start one. And I highly recommend starting one, but here are the three reasons that just annoy the fire out of me. So you know what to expect. So here we go. Reason number one. If my slideshow would actually, there we go. Client budget versus client expectation. This is one that you're going to have to get over. It doesn't matter. Like the scales of this do not matter. Like you think someone that's spending, you know, six figures in ad spend would like get what expectations are, or you'd think that someone on the opposite end, that's spending like $300 a month, like $10 a day or something, would also understand this. But this is basically what I mean. So think that your product and your product's price point, like what the purchase point is like $150. So that's what your average price point is there. Let's just make this very, very simple. And the client is wanting to spend $10 a day on budget. So I know there's a lot of economics that go into making price and what the profit margins on. But let's just do basic math here. So on break even, just on the price point alone from what you're selling, you'd kind of want like two purchases a month just to break even. So it's like I spent $300 and I made $300, just raw right there, no economics involved in that. So you think that at the very baseline would make sense, right? Well, you'd be shocked that you're going to want to find people that are spending $10 a day and they want to get a purchase a day. Now that would be still very good ROAS, and that's possible with a product. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but what's even funnier is when people, instead of just wanting that one purchase, that $10 a day, so $10 per purchase to sell 150 product, the ROAS and return on investment there are still very high. They want to get multiple purchases a day off $10. And not even that, they might want to get 5 or 10 purchases a day and ask, how can we scale this? And that's just not how economics work. You're not going to be able to get in front of someone with paid acquisition sources like Google and Meta ads. That's just not going to be possible. You're not going to find enough high intent people. You might have a customer list that you start retargeting and can get off those funnels. That's not going to happen. So it's going to be really annoying because you're going to have people, they just don't understand that. And you might get on a call and explain that with them, but they just don't care. So that's reason number one. So reason number two, you're always going to have to watch your back for these people, regardless of how good you do, of them trying to learn what you're doing, especially if like they've come to you with an ad account before and they've done it themselves and they're an intelligent enough person. They're going to always be ready to find a cheaper solution than you, no matter what the value is, no matter how much fulfillment that you get and how much time you're freeing. They're always going to be doing this. So an example of this is we've had a client for the past like 2 years, a huge, huge client. Like I'm talking about they're spending millions upon millions in ad spend on different venues and stuff for there. Before they got with us, they had no success with Google or Meta ads at all. And now we've made those their most successful platforms. But you might have guessed it, they had access to their stuff. And like legally, it's really hard to try to restrict that access once we get onto it. So they shared access with us and we got them to new heights without like, sharing case studies, which you can go to our website, which is in the description below to actually, you'll be able to find this person most likely that I'm talking about. But anyways, looking at that situation, they asked us if we could give them a discounted rate, to which we said, sure, we're completely fine to give a discounted rate. However, we would like it if we could make, more than a month to month contract. So not only were we getting them good results and them always being over our shoulder and asking for a discount, but we were working on a month to month. So we'd been working with this person for 2 years. That means for 24 months consistently, we had been getting good enough results. We said we would like to do a 6 month contract, which is something we're implementing now. Didn't at the time because everyone's growing. And they said no. They said no, we just want you to give a discounted rate. And so at some point, like being an agency owner, you got to make that decision. So they ended up firing us. So that was awesome. And I'm sure what they're doing is just going to offshore it, which like if you're smart enough and you want to do that, sure, you can take the risk on that. But that's what you're going to always have to look out is these people, they're always going to be looking to sell your soul to the Flying Dutchman here. So then the third and final point kind of coexist with this is they are not going to see you sometimes. And I don't mean we have wonderful clients. If you're one of my wonderful clients that's watching this video, this does not mean you. I'm just giving advice to people that might want to start a marketing agency like we have, and just some advice of what they're going to have to battle against. You're going to have to be ready for these people to see you as an employee, or they just think they can say whatever they want to you or treat you however they want. And I don't want to say my wife's an ER nurse. My job is phenomenal. However, you have to be prepared for these people. Literally, like you're going to have a sales call with them. You're going to tell them how it works. And then the next day they're going to be like, hey, why aren't these super advanced campaigns with conversions API tracking all the way until my CRM that needs custom landing pages built, they'll ask you the next day why these campaigns aren't live. And then they'll be like, I sent you a message, and it'll be at like 1 a.m. in the morning because they're up at that time. And they expect for some reason that you get back to them like they just own you. And so, like, you got to be prepared to, like, sure, you want to own an agency, but the reason you want to own a business and an agency is like you don't want to do the fulfillment all on your own anymore. Also, if you have team under you, you don't want them to just push around your team. You want your team to actually like working with the clients. So you got to be willing to actually stand up for yourself and tell these people, hey, no, but just be prepared for that. Because even if you get on a call with someone and they're like, oh, I completely understand, once they start paying you and spending money on their ad spend, they might act a lot differently. And a lot of those things comes with, like, just had the sales call with this guy, had it all recorded. I told him the call was recorded, and like I sent him the transcript. I said that turnaround time for the audit, like on his current account, was 24 to 48 business hours once he gets us access. He got us access on a Friday. And like I told him, like, weekends we might respond, we might not. If it's an emergency, we'll respond and get on there for you. But that's not what we consider business day. He asked on Monday at the end of the day, once we sent the audit, so we sent the audit within 24 hours business time, why all the audit changes haven't been implemented and why haven't the new campaigns been created? And I told him, I was like, the audit gets sent in, and then you tell us, hey, this looks good to go. You implement the audit so we don't waste any spin that you haven't confirmed. So, like, these people sometimes are just not going to think of that. So you have to tell them, hey, we're not an employee. We're providing a service which provides value to you, and you're a partner with us. We exchange our knowledge for your money, and then we help your business grow to try to scale together. You're a partnership. So just know those things. If you like content like this, make sure to leave a like. If I, get one like on this video, that would be awesome. And make sure to subscribe. If you want to book a call with me, literally just to talk about struggles, we can get on a podcast and we can record the call, and that'd be awesome. So I'll see you in the next one.